Hey guys, how's it going? I am super excited to be back. I took a couple of weeks off because I was moving and all sorts of stuff. As you can see, I'm in a totally different setup and I'm super excited to be here. But I'm all set up and I'm ready to get back into video stuff, so let's jump into it. So this video I'm really excited about. The company iEGrow reached out to me and wanted to send me a keyboard case for me to try out. They sent me the F07 Keyboard. Now this is a clamshell keyboard, so that means it is a case keyboard combo. The one they sent me is for the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, but they also have ones for different size iPads too. So if you have a smaller iPad out there, they have a keyboard for you, so this video will still apply. I'm really excited about this because they sent it out to me to really test out and really run through the paces. So let's kind of get into it a little bit. So first off, right away, you'll probably notice it's designed much like a MacBook Air. It's got a very tapered edge design. It even has the same color scheme as that. And I think it's kind of an interesting design. It makes it feel like it's a natural piece of the iPad. That Apple design is great. I absolutely love it. I talk about it all the time. I know I probably talk about it a little too much, but I actually absolutely love it. I like that with this design of the keyboard case, it kind of blends and does make it feel like it is an Apple product. So I do like that a lot. It also has some benefits of this style because it's this clamshell style and it has a hard bottom case. It makes it really easy to really work with it in your lap while you're working on a couch or at a table or just in a chair and you don't have a desk or anything to set your iPad on. It makes it pretty easy to use. Another part of this design, because it doesn't bring the iPad as forward as much as like the Smart Connector keyboard does, it really forced me to use keyboard shortcuts. Now this could be a good or a bad thing for you. Personally, I like to think of it as a good thing. Keyboard shortcuts can save you a lot of time, so it forced me to learn keyboard shortcuts I didn't really bother to get to know before. Now it's not like you can't reach the iPad the way it is. It's just a little bit easier now if you can just keep your hands on the keyboard, much like using a Mac if you were taught typing back in the day. If you can keep your hands on the keyboard and just use a keyboard shortcut, it's going to be a lot faster than reaching for the mouse. It's kind of the same principle here. It's a lot faster to keep your hands on the keyboard and keep typing than it is to reach up and tap on the glass. This is also where the Apple Pencil comes in too. As I've stated before, the Apple Pencil is really good just as a pointing device and selecting things around. Now, of course, there are other styluses you can use. I just chose to use the Apple Pencil, but it does come in handy in this case as well. So this is a big keyboard case. It is for the 12.9-inch iPad Pro after all. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone at all. Now, when I first put the iPad in the keyboard case, it did feel overwhelming at first. It did take some time to adjust to the size and the weight. It is a little heavy, but in the long run, what it's bringing to the table, for me at least, I really appreciate it. I actually really like this keyboard. Now let's get into what a keyboard's really all about, the keys itself. So the key feels very much like the 2015 and earlier MacBook stuff. It's very kind of mushy and it clicks and you can kind of hit a corner and it may not press the whole key down, but it gets the keystroke down. It doesn't feel like the current MacBook Pros where it's this solid piece, but with that comes benefits. You get better key travel with this. There's much more key travel in this keyboard than there is in the current MacBook Pros, which I know a lot of people don't like. For me personally, I kind of like this feel. I like the way it works. It feels very much like a desktop keyboard, and that's a good thing. Now, the keys are a little bit smaller than normal. They're not the standard key size. They're a little bit smaller, and that did take some getting used to. I'm not 100% sure why they chose to do smaller key sizes. We do know, especially with Apple's Smart Connector keyboard and the Logitech ones, you can get a full-size keyboard for the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Now, the smaller ones, obviously, you can't, but the big iPad, you can. So I am a little curious about that. But honestly, I got used to it pretty quick. It took me about a day to get used to that and the weight of everything. But after that day, it was fine. I've actually really grown to enjoy this keyboard, and it's something that I want to hang on to and I'm going to probably keep using. Let's talk about some features of the keyboard. So first off, there is some backlights. It uses the RGB spectrum, but it has 6 color options you can choose from. You can also change the brightness or dim them down too, or just turn them off completely if you don't want them. I mostly work in a well-lit room, so I don't necessarily need them, but if I am working in the living room and watching TV or something, it is nice to be able to turn them on so I don't have to go and turn all the living room lights on. Unlike the Apple Smart Connector keyboard, there is a function row, and this is important to me. I absolutely love having the function row, especially on mobile computers. It's important. It allows you to control music, volume, brightness. You can do things like change the keyboards and even hit the home button. With having a physical home button in the function row, you can hold it down and you can invoke Siri too as well if that's something you want. Now, one of the features of this is it's a Bluetooth keyboard, so it's not a Smart Connector keyboard. So that does mean you have to make sure it pairs and charge and all that stuff. But moving into the battery's been great for me. I charged it the first time that I got it. I made sure it was fully charged, and I haven't had to worry about it since then. Now, one of the things that I wish was a little bit different was the indicator of how charged it is only shows when you're charging the device. I'd like a keyboard shortcut or something so I can actually see how much battery life is left in the keyboard. But if I'm getting over a week and a half's worth of battery life out of this thing, then it's definitely enough for me personally to feel confident that I could take this on a trip with me. It does use a standard micro USB charger, and I think that's a good thing. Most people already have those in their backpack, so I don't think it's a big deal, especially if you're going to be traveling with this a lot. Seems like the battery life is great, and the charging is not too bad. It also has a USB-A port on the side, and what's really cool about that is you can plug a lightning cable into that and charge your iPhone off of it. Now, this is using the battery in the keyboard, so you got to keep in mind if you drain the battery in the keyboard, you won't have a keyboard to use. So it might be great just to top off your device every once in a while, but I wouldn't rely on it as a battery backup. Some use cases that I can definitely see of this keyboard combo case is people traveling. I could see a lot of people flying or going on trains and wanting to just to have one device they can whip out and flip open. They don't have some sort of foldable thing that they have to flip around or pull out their iPad and then pull out some keyboard case combo or whatever. This is really easy just to take out of your bag, open up, and you're good to go. The pairing is really good. It stays paired for a while. I haven't had any issues with that, so I think that's a really kind of a good case for it. If you're somebody that also likes to have a case with their iPad, this is also a case. It has a back full cover to it, and it's metal too. It is a solid case. So if you're somebody that wants that extra protection, but you also want a keyboard attached, this is also will be good for you as well. But the best use case that I have found for this whole keyboard is just somebody that wants to work with their device in their lap. And I know we solved this back in the laptop era, and it kind of seems weird that we didn't fix this with the tablet era in the beginning, but whatever. A lot of keyboards do this weird flip around thing, and they're just not quite wide enough, so your keyboard will flop over. It'll be at a weird angle. What's great about this is it has an adjustable viewing angle, so you can work with it in your lap no matter how tall or how short you are. It'll work for you. I really, really like this keyboard. I think it's a fantastic keyboard, and if you're somebody in the market for this kind of a design of a keyboard case combo, I highly recommend you guys check it out. This has been the only keyboard that I've used since I got this. I put my iPad in the case of the keyboard, and I expected to use it for a few days and kind of write some ideas about it and stuff like that, but I actually really grew to like it a lot. I haven't used my mechanical keyboard or my Magic Keyboard, and that's not to say I'm not going to go back to those at any point, but while I've been testing this keyboard out, I haven't felt the need to go back to any other keyboard. I'm going to put links to this keyboard and some of the smaller ones in the description below. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments or on my Twitter. It's at Chris_Lolly. If you like what I'm doing with this channel and you're really interested in this iPad, iOS stuff, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. Thank you guys so much. Have an awesome day.